Don't you want the truth? Don't you want... Okay, so I was digging in my nose and I found a golden nugget, and I took that to the pawn shop and they were like, take this around back and throw it away. Alright, so I got a couple comments and I wanted to read them to you. I got this comment, Truth Seeker for him. Somebody else commented before that. It was, I know who it was, but I just want to read the comment real quick. Sorry, okay, he says, Chris Hall says, I listened to the entire 10 Little Indian song, and wow. Now, I didn't listen to the whole song. I was all like, I've heard enough, I mean, the end of the song, they could have been like, 8 died, but 2 got to heaven, and 1 because of Jesus, praise Jesus. They could have said anything like that at the end, and I didn't take the time to watch the end, and, this is just going to have to be one of those lucky ones, because of all the things in the world, this 10 Little Indian song shook enough people. Alright, so day 2, did I do that yesterday or the day before? I don't know. Second time around, this Indian song is shaking me up a bit too. Alright, so Truth Seeker for him said, hey Lex, I listened to that song and wow. And all I can say is wow. Here's the breakdown. So he gives us like the who scored what, right? So it goes, Indians removed from the song in the following way. Number 10, executed. Number 9, syphilis. Number 8, Jesus. Number 7, burnt. 6, didn't do so well. 5, got in, and it says where. I think that would be heaven, if they're talking about heaven. 4, passed out drunk. 3, left for Mexico. 2, shot. 1, hung himself. Hung himself. Wow, that's fucking gruesome, right? And I told you this was about you, and you're like, I don't think so, Negro. But it turns out somebody smarter in this subject, and this is actually a very important subject because it actually has to do with history. So my mom used to always, my grandma's from Germany, funny. My mom used to always tell me these stories about this island that was off the coast of England that had black people there, and they had some that had blonde hair and blue eyes. And I was like, yeah, whatever, man, there's no people with blonde hair, blue eyes. So when I started doing research and I came across the Solomon Islands, I was like, Mom, I found this fucking island. It's in the Solomon Islands. It's got these children with blonde hair and blue eyes. She goes, is it outside of England? I go, no, it's closer to Japan. She goes, nah, that ain't it. And I was like, what? How many places on the earth can you find black kids with blonde hair and blue eyes? So, for some time, I thought my mom was full of shit. So, just to make a long story short, in case I forget to bring up the mom part later, I just had my mom down, and I told her the name of the island. She goes, is it outside England? I go, yeah. She goes, this is what she says, Grandma wasn't lying. Because that's what I was saying about my mom. Mom wasn't lying, right? Alright. So, this little 10 Little Indian thing, bullcrap, really stitches up my own little rip in fabric with my memory and family's history about the world. Because, they've been telling this story back and forth to each other, I don't know how long. Half of them not knowing if it's been true because they heard it from one person whose English wasn't that great, you know. I got a message from somebody named Cookie Crush. I gotta play catch up, talking about the vids, but I'm speaking on the 10 Little Indians I watched, and then there were none some time ago because I knew it was making reference to the Lost Tribes. Now, that's kind of funny. The version of the song for the movie's totally different from your posted version. Now, when I showed some family members the link showing that they were blatantly calling Negroes Indians, it was as if nothing changed. And she's going to show us the link. It's very frustrating sometimes. Here's the link. Agatha fucking Christie. Right? And it's called And There Were None. Right? That's the whole goal. To remove all the Negroes. Right? Yeah. See, in the eyes of the wicked, there is no separation of Negro and African American. And when we do wrong, there is no separation of Negro and nigger. To them, we are as the cockroaches. As they tell you, the cockroaches will be here long after man dies. And that is the way they feel about us, unless they do something about it. So this is why they kill us off. They only need so many to pick food for us. I mean, pick food for them. And now they're going to genetically modified food. As if when you eat genetically modified food, tumors don't fucking grow everywhere. Oh, boy. So, she says the first paragraph is all the proof you need. Yeah, it is all the proof you need. I pre-read a little bit of this. Once I saw what I saw, I said, okay, that's enough for a video. Yeah! Woo, buddy. They also have different posters for that movie. I'm glad the guy decided to upload the original song. So one more time, let's hear it.
10 little Indians standing in a line. One got executed, then there were 9. 9 little Indians haven't long to wait. One got syphilis, and then there were 8. 8 little Indians trying to get to heaven. One found Jesus, and then there were 7. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Might as well be saying goodbye.
Good night.
It's a genocide song.
Good night.
It's. Let me get it.
7 little.
Some people recorded their history verbally, like, say, the Irish. And this is a song celebrating genocide. And when I go to the link that she left for us, it should prove it for those that are up to date. Now look, when you sit there and you try to tell your family members about this, and you get blank stares or it fucking really ain't making sense, they think they're from Africa. They think those people were taken from Africa. They don't think those people were taken from here and sent over to Europe. They don't think that the rich people that were black were taken from Europe and sent here. They don't understand the transfer that took place. The transatlantic slave that we've been told did not take place. You heard that man that in the video I uploaded between these videos, if you watch the video, he brings up the Phoenicians as if he's saying he's a Phoenician. You know, so when I saw the comment left by True Seeker, I was going to reply to him, but I said, why not? I'll just make it. I'll put it in the video. He goes, number 10 was executed. 9, syphilis. 8, Jesus. 7, burnt. 6, didn't do so well. Let's just look at those. Executed. Syphilis. Jesus. Burnt. And didn't do so well. Who did this to those Indians? Who executed Indians? Well, white people did under the orders of Thomas Jefferson. Yes. Yes. Who gave Indians or African Americans or Negroes syphilis during the Tuskegee experiment? And you've got to understand, when you find out the date this song was written, I don't know if syphilis is in the original song, but it is shocking. But again, white people did the Tuskegee experiment. Okay, when we go to Jesus, who gave melanated people Jesus? Again, white people did. White people gave us their god of war as they conquered us. And what did they do? The next one is burnt. They burnt us on stakes. Would you like to be baptized before burnt? For what? To turn my back on my God before I die, to exclude me from the afterlife? Don't you get it? I've been telling you for years now, baptism is not in Leviticus. The hell what anybody says. Read it for yourself. Go to the Jewish Encyclopedia. Look up baptism. 9 paragraphs down. 9 paragraphs. All the way at the bottom, they tell you that shit's from Babylon. You watch that movie, 300 Part 2, whatever the fuck that is. What's the dude do? He goes into the water, baptizes himself, and comes out as something different. What does the narrator say? He comes out of God. You guys don't care. And the ones that do care, they don't want to put any effort in. You're not watching because you haven't been woke up. Being woken up has brought you here. You want fully awake. You want to come out of the fucking casket. You want to break through the earth and see light again. You are the dry bones. You've been walking around like dead fucking husks. Zombie. Oh, I'm just some nigger from Africa. I'm disassociated with this land because I don't belong here. You fucking been here. There's a curse on you. All you guys say the curses of Deuteronomy, but none of you understand the curses of Deuteronomy. Didn't do so well. You will not do so well in this system. If you do well in this system, it's not because you're reading the Bible. It's because you turned your back on God and Jesus is supporting you financially. That's Luciferian doctrine. There is no Jesus. It's Jesus. He's talked about in Jeremiah, the man with the axe. That goes back to Lucian's poem about this man called Jesus. Fuck. Type in E-S-U-S. There's a fucking Wikipedia entry on this guy. And when you read Jeremiah 10, is it 12 or 10? When they tell you about the Christmas, it's the same dude. I don't care that the tree he's cutting down ain't a Christmas tree. No. So, passed out drunk. 4 passed out drunk. That must be Gad. 3 left for Mexico. Again, who said, I want to send the Negroes back? back to Mexico. I want them to return to Mexico. Abraham Lincoln. Alright, so that's where, let's go back to this.
Indians playing pickup sticks. One got burned real bad, and then there were six little Indians trying to stay alive. One did.
How does somebody burn themselves playing pickup sticks? I mean, you know, like when you put somebody on the crucifix, and you pick up all the sticks and you put them underneath them and set them on fire.
Do so well, and then there were five little Indians banging on the door.
I can't fucking take this song. I'm glad I found it. It's a fucking headache. Alright, so she sent this leak. It's called And Then There Were None. Now again, this is about you. Now, I'll show you the page in a minute. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to read and you be shocked by what's on the fucking book. I don't want to start reading and you look at this book and your fucking mouth drop open and you can't even hear what I'm saying. Like, oh, shit. Boy, do I know what the picture of this video is going to be. And Then There Were None is a detective fiction novel by Agatha Christie. First published in the United Kingdom by the Collins Crime Club on 6th of November 1939. Under the title 10 Little Niggers. Under the title 10 Little Niggers. First published in 1939 by the CCC Club on 6th of November under the title 10 Little Niggers. I guess I can show you now. I believe the suspense. Spoiler alert. You niggers are actually the Indians. That's why it's now called 10 Little Indians. Don't you get it? This is the foundation of white supremacy. They told you they killed the Indians. Well, technically they killed the Indians in your mind. And then they gave you the title slave. And when you were free, you gained the title Negro. And behind your back, they call us all niggers. I bet Christ won't tell you that truth. He wants you niggers captive. And Then There Were None is a detective fiction novel by Agatha Christie, first published in the United Kingdom by Collins Crime Club, CCC, on the 6th of November, 1939, under the title 10 Little Niggers, and in the United States by Dodd, Mead and Company in January 1940 under the title And Then There Were None. See, there were too many fucking Indians on this soil, so they just left it be, and then there were none. In the novel, 10 people who have been previously... my computer's acting funny. In the novel, 10 people who had previously been complicit in the deaths of others but have escaped notice or punishment are tricked into coming into an island. Even though the guests are the only people on the island, they are all mysteriously murdered one by one in a manner paralleling and sometimes grotesquely, the old nursery rhyme 10 Little Indians. Okay, so we would have to hear the nursery rhyme 10 Little Indians. Okay, now this is where we have a problem. There's no way I'm going to be able to play any of this shit without getting flagged. Okay? So if you want to know what's said in the nursery rhyme, 10 Little Indians, it's not long. So you can hear it if you want it. But I'm not going to play it. I don't want to get flagged. The UK edition retailed at 7 shillings and 6 pence. What the 7.6, and the US edition was $2. What the hell does that even mean, dude? Okay, so the novel has also been published and filmed under the title 10 Little Indians. It is Christie's best-selling novel with 100 million sales to date, making it the world's best-selling mystery and the 7th most popular book of all time. It has been adapted into several plays, film, and video game. Okay, so we can tell the song is based off the nursery rhyme. And what is this? The nursery rhyme is based off of... Okay, so the book is based off the nursery rhyme as well. But here's where it gets weird. Oh man, I know this computer's being shitty. Alright. The plot summary. All gets better. Just wait. 8 people of different social classes, right, have been invited to a mansion on the fictional Soldier Island. Nigger Island in the original 1939 publication, Indian Island in the US publication, which is based upon Berg Island off the coast of Devon. What? Wait. They're saying it's fictional, but I've got a fucking family history story about this island and blacks being kept on it. From my personal history, this is not fiction. Berg Island is a small, tidal island off the coast of South Devon in England, near to the small seaside village of Bigbury on the sea. There are several buildings on the island. The largest is the Art Deco Berg Island Hotel. Other buildings are 3 private houses, a public building, and the Pickard Inn run by the hotel. Now, I'm sure if we dig into the history of Berg Island, we'll find all kinds of... Oh, look. History. The history of the island is unclear. However, it is mentioned in early records on maps as St. Michael's Island. Ah, isn't St. Michael the saint over the Israelites? Right? Hidden right in front of you. Later, the name changed to Burrow Island. What do when you burrow? You dig stuff. You bury it. Burrow. Eventually being corrupted into Burr. Like, so people just couldn't fucking pronounce Burrow. As late as... Oh, Burrow. Oh, shit! That's Ephraim. No. Who's... What's the Israelite tribe that's like a burrow? An ass. Oh, we'll get to that eventually. Somebody will type it in. As late as 1947, an ordnance survey map referred to the island as Burrow Island. In 1908, a postcard produced by Steingel and Company Ltd. of London referred to it as Burr Island. A map published in 1765 showed Burrow or Burr Isle. Oh, so it doubles. I mean, if it goes back to the fucking 1700s and uses both, look, it's got to say one or the other, unless, well, whatever. Alright, so I believe a monastery was established on the island, most of the remnants of which may lie beneath the current hotel. See, beneath, Burrow, right? animals burrow, and a fucking what? A horse or a donkey or something is called a burrow. Ancient Pilchard Inn may have started life as guest lodging for the monastery, whatever. Look, Germans always brought up fears of German landing forces using the island as a beachhead during World War II resulted in the area's fortification with anti-tank defenses as well as 2 pillbox. Is this the same fucking island that guy in England says the Queen keeps kids there? I might have to turn this video off and find out if this is the same island. I should... Okay, let's go back for a minute before we get sidetracked. We'll get sidetracked. We will. Upon arriving, they're told the host that Mr. and Mrs. U.N. Owen, Ulick, Norman Owen, and Una Nancy Owen are currently away, and the guests should be attended to by Thomas and Ethel Rogers. So if they're guests and nobody's supposed to be there, but they're attended to 2 people, then they're not there alone. Each guest finds his or her room an odd bit of brick or brack and a famed copy of a nursery rhyme, 10 Little Soldiers. Niggers or Indians in respective earlier editions. So, the more your black ass learns how to read, or the more of you learn how to read, they change it from niggers. When whites only are reading, they call it niggers. When blacks are freed and they're called Negroes, they say 10 Little Indians. And later, because these are in early editions, they just say, and then there were none. Alright, I don't give a shit about the fucking story anymore. I want to look over here. It says 10 soldier boys went out to dine. 1 choked his little self, and then there were 9. 9 soldier boys sat up very late. 1 overslept himself, and then there were 8. I don't know what the fuck that is. He died in his sleep. It's gay. It doesn't even sound right. 8 little soldier boys traveling in Devon. Look, in Devon, in England. 1 said he'll stay there, and then there were 7. That must be the one that didn't do so well, right? 7 little soldiers, boys chopping up sticks. 1 chopped himself in half, and then there were 6. How does a boy chop himself in half? I mean, I get it. There's a killer amongst them, and he's not being counted. I get it. That's what the story is being made of, because whoever, Agatha Christie or whoever writes under that name, read this story and found all these holes in it, and then wrote a story filling all the holes, but then it's called her version. Alright, so 6 little soldier boys playing with a hive, a bumblebee stung 1, and then there were 5. 5 little soldier boys going in for law. 1 got in chancery, and then there were 4. I don't even know what that means. That's some English stupid shit. A red herring swallowed 1, and there were 3. 3 boys walking, a bear hugged 1, and then there were 2. Okay, so the bear ate 1. 2 soldier boys sitting in the sun, 1 got frizzled, and then there was 1. 1 little soldier was left alone. He went out and hung himself. Oh, so the 1 was so lonely, he hung himself. I get it. Okay. So, alright, so this song doesn't mean anything to me. The history behind the song leads to real history, and that actually means something to me. Aside from that, my family's verbal history told me to a great degree about these stories. And not until now, not until being 40 years old, do I have the hard evidence to be able to say I was told the truth about this and that it actually exists. So that does mean a lot to me. I don't know what it means to a lot of you, because I am beyond the whole they have taken the Indian and calling the Indian a slave, and then when the slave was freed, they called him a Negro. See, I am aware of this chain of different titles being associated with you and with me. Excuse me, sorry. But I don't think you as the viewer are. See, no matter how many different things I show you, no matter how many different things, you're not satisfied. This is why I tell you, it doesn't matter how I present it. It doesn't matter if I come in here in a suit and tie. It doesn't matter, because I look like you. And we've been trained to not believe ourselves. Now here's the problem. Who are you going to believe? See, it's like a lot of you need Jesus to come back to say to your fucking face, I never existed. It was a trick to steal the land from you. See, the people that they sent over here were criminals. The Catholic Church had been going through fucking Inquisition for hundreds of years. They've been killing their own forever. You'd think they were gonna run out. But no, they kept pumping. War and fucking is all they did in Europe. And it seems we have a lot of genetic testing because somebody burnt their seed out with war and fucking. The so-called African Americans don't run sperm banks. So-called African Americans aren't fucking scientists. You don't go to a fucking lab and see nothing but African Americans there. You go to a lab and you see nothing but Caucasians there. Look. There are plenty of people on this earth that know the truth, and it is a game to them to keep it from you. On one hand, they say, oh, I'm so sorry about what we've done in history. And on the other hand, they say, behind your back, fuck these niggers. Now, I can't tell you the percentages, and I can't tell you people's hearts. But there are people that care about you. Just because you're black and they've never fucking met you. It's really weird. In their heart, they've been gifted with what we call abolitionists. They truly believe all men should be free and equal. And they'll kill their own to protect you. I grew up in Akron, Ohio, and what we have now, I didn't really understand the John Brown home growing up, and neither did anybody else, because nobody ever fucking wanted us to. I had to learn from Dick Gregory, sitting here at 40 years old watching videos, the truth about John Brown, and how it's connected with Django Unchained. The Django character was the first person killed in the John Brown rebellion. White John Brown was tired of slavery. He was tired of how the blacks were being treated. And he got together with, I think there was 25 men, and they were trying to steal the government's weapons. And they succeeded for one night, but the first person that was cut down had a letter in their pocket. History points that they believe, history points that they built the Django Unchained character off this person, the first person that died at this rebellion. John Brown, you've got to understand, when you're a male, it is destiny for you to pass your seed on. Now, if you went and you slept with some woman and you have some child that you're not part of their life, it's still destiny. We are to procreate. We are to mate on this earth. We are to build families. We are not supposed to be planting seed so other farmers can raise it. That's not how farming works. So, we've been tricked on a lot of levels, and we've got to get back to where we truly belong. Now, when you have sons, you already know the only way that your name is going to keep going is by your sons, not by your daughters. So, John Brown fought the U.S. government with white men and black men, and I would encourage all viewers, whether they be black, white, brown, whatever, whether they be male or female, whatever, to do a little self-study about abolitionists. Now, you don't have to study John Brown. It is a very interesting story because you can go and watch Django Unchained, even though the stories aren't really connected. But basically, at the end of the story of Django Unchained, Django would run off to try to free his wife, and would historically be cut down after he met up with John Brown. Like 6 days, something like that. So, or you can look for Dick Gregory talking about Django Unchained, because it's wonderful to watch him talk about it. He grew up in an era where they did not have black cowboys, and if they did have black cowboys, there's no fucking way that they would have black cowboys shooting white cowboys. So he was excited because he felt it was a respectable movie because there's no on-screen sex and something else. He had like a list, and the top of his list was the idea of the black cowboy killing the white cowboy, because again, as a movie viewer, he is neglected to see this type of situation because of the racist atmosphere that we've always been accustomed to. So, with that being said, I'm still shocked that this song is part of our path. It's truly. And so you all know, I want to go back to that Farrakhan video. I mean, you guys should just watch the video yourself. I know you guys get on YouTube and you watch for like 4 or 5 hours. So I would say watch the Farrakhan video yourself, because you can hear this man bring up a lot of points that are just phenomenal. And he's given Farrakhan this information face to face. And you know, as he gave Farrakhan this information, to a great degree, Farrakhan talked through the information, because Farrakhan already knows the information. I cannot tell you who that man's connected to publicly or privately. But me personally, I don't trust any men. Especially men that work in a group. I would say, if you're watching this video, you understand that the title of the same book is changed. In Europe, where white supremacy is dominating and the blacks are comfortable how they are, it's called 10 Little Niggers. In America, where 1939, I mean, you know, I couldn't even tell you the level of racism. I truthfully couldn't tell you what the social system was. If we go to some of these burnings and lynchings, I couldn't tell you if they were from the 60s, couldn't tell you if they were from the 50s, the 40s, the 20s. I truthfully couldn't, unless the time and date stamped. So I know that we are progressing up into what is the civil rights movement. So I know we're reading along with them. I don't know at what point we dealt with segregation for a while, so we would have dealt with separate schools. This being a nursery rhyme, this would have probably been in all schools to a great degree. So changing the title to 10 Little Indian Kids would be very smart for the blasphemy that's coming on, the great lie that these Negroes, these Indians are no longer Indians. They're either slaves or ex-slaves, which technically means Negro. You know. So look, just keep that in mind. You know, there's a lot of topics, even though this video isn't like, you know, jam-packed with, you know, blatant words you can just look up. You already know that you can look up the title of the book. You already know the song. You already know the nursery rhyme exists. You already know the island exists. You can look into the history of the island. I'm going to look into the history of the island because I think it has to do with one of these islands that this guy from England claimed that the Queen has orphanage on, that she... Yeah, he makes claims against the Queen. They sound very valid. And in 2013 or 2014, they had a fucking dead teenager on the Queen's property. You know, that kind of shit, dude. Like, look, if you're a fucking murderer, that's fucking lazy. To leave a dead body on the front lawn, come on. I mean, do you want everybody to know? That's to be a, if you're a killer, that's fucking trifling. I mean, come on. Like, think of the sickest job, and that's like not cleaning up after your job. Like right now, I wash dishes. That'd be like coming home with the food like piled up all over my clothes, with a big smile on my face. I didn't do it. So, you know, I encourage you to do some self-study. You already know you're the Indians. You already know by the time the camera came out, they had a plan. And the plan was to never show your image as the Indian. When we go to Israel's redemption, she says we should start wearing feathers. All I have to ask you, is that something you're going to participate in? we should be wearing feathers, as our ancestor did. And a lot of you guys are worried about, I always call them tassels, but you know what I mean. So I would, even fringes. You know, a lot of people are very worried about fringes, and you know, and you have to have a blue border. You know, so I mean, that is something that we should step into. We should step into the wardrobe change. You know, we should step into the wardrobe change. A lot of people have done a wardrobe change, but they started dressing like Muslims. While America is looking for Muslim terrorists, they started dressing like Muslims. I don't even want to get into that. Some more Bible camp, bubblegum shit. So, keep looking. And if you're not looking, at least start sharing. Go out and preach and teach. Again, I always tell you, you are the Messiah. This is why they'll grab any one of you and sacrifice you. They don't have to look for a pure one. They don't have to look for no clean one. All they need is one. Any nigga will do. Stay together. Walk in groups. Watch your attitude in public. Do not get thrown in jail. Do not get arrested. I cannot keep telling you this, or it's going to be your ass they're standing there with candles for. Stay alive.